Good morning, everybody. My name is PK Mutch, and I'm the publisher and founder of LiisBeth magazine. It is a beautiful day. It's March 9th, and I'm standing out here outside of the Liberty Grande in Toronto at the SheEO Global Summit, which is based here in Toronto, the epicenter of the feminist economy in North America. Yes, we can actually say it is the epicenter of the feminist economy in North America. We have SheEO founded here, it's based here, LiisBeth Media, I have to say that. Also the Fifth Wave, which is Canada's first business accelerator for women in digital media. I said a feminist business accelerator, imagine that. And it's also the home to hundreds of feminist founder-led ventures that are working to advance gender equity and inclusion through the power of business. And we are waiting out here for Minister Ng for an interview today about the Women's Entrepreneurship Strategy Fund and asking her about some of her observations about women's entrepreneurship in Canada. Good morning, Minister Ng.
Good morning, Beth.
So great to talk to you again. You're the most hardworking politician I know, and I don't say that for brownie points. Honestly, that's honestly true. And so thank you for being accessible today. First of all, tell us how you spent International Women's Day yesterday.
Yesterday was fantastic, but it wasn't just yesterday. It was several days leading up to yesterday and today, and I hope for the next 364 days. But I spent time with extraordinary female entrepreneurs, and I spent time with all types of businesses. So I was in Parkdale just a couple of days ago, and I was there where it was this inspiration studio. It was pottery creation. It was for women who they said they didn't necessarily think of themselves as businesses, but they were. Mm-hmm. And they took from what are a challenging set of circumstances, found an enabler for themselves, found pride in themselves, and in doing so, have created businesses for themselves, a venture that they can go out and create something, sell something, and then actually make a plan that said, okay, so now I've made money, how do I now reinvest it? So from businesses like that, or a venture like that, to extraordinary women up in York Region, we funded this great initiative called Ella.
Yes,
so
yes,
it's
I know
entrepreneurship learning, it's mentoring, it's over 50 plus women who are going to get the mentoring, the support, the training, the leadership that they need to be successful. So literally a range, and I could probably go on, and there won't be enough time. But it really has been extraordinary to be able to spend time seeing what is possible and what is being created.
Wonderful. Well, as someone in the ecosystem, I've noticed the energy, right? So I can see all the new programs springing up. I can see it being much more inclusive. We're broadening the definition of what entrepreneurship means, what an entrepreneur looks like. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the Women's Entrepreneurship Fund. So there were 300 businesses supported, which is great, helping them grow. There are also 3,000 applications. And I'm interested to know going through all those applications, what did you learn about women's entrepreneurship in Canada that might be a surprise that you may not have known before?
Well, you will have heard me talk about these statistics. 99% of our businesses are small and medium-sized businesses in this country. Only 16% are women-owned or women-led. The Prime Minister has given me the mandate, so I have a goal to double the number of female entrepreneurs in this country. We put a fund out there. It was $30 million that funded, directly invested in just over 300 businesses. I'm very proud to also say that many of these businesses, about 10%, are Indigenous women-owned businesses or women-led, so that's incredible. But what does it say about the close to 3,000 applications? That the journey in this goal that I'm working hard together with everyone is achievable. Because when we have this many female entrepreneurs out there, or female-led businesses that says, look at me, I need support, I can do this too, and I'm going to do it, and I just need a little bit of support. We were only able to do a little over 300, and that's with $30 million, right? So it's and as you said, the demand is certainly there. So the thing that surprised me was just was really that that volume, which also then says to me that what that goal is to be is doable. So therefore, what do we need to keep doing to make sure that's achievable for us in Canada and for our Canadian economy, and frankly for women, for all of us.
Awesome. And so that leads into my next question, which is about how do we reflow capital towards women entrepreneurs. So I'm going to talk a little bit about venture capital for a moment. We know that venture capital hasn't been particularly friendly to women entrepreneurs, if I say it that way. Last week, The Logic released a report that said 50% of venture capital firms, even today, are still not tracking investments by founder gender. And of course, as you know, you can't manage what you can't measure. And on top of that, we know that only 11% of the VC funds in Canada signed up to the $1 billion fund, which was just a pledge to sort of say, hey, we're going to redirect, or we're going to ensure that X% of our portfolio goes to women-led, appropriate businesses for VCs in the next 5 years. Yet only 11% signed up, 17 in fact in Canada. So, I'm going to be LiisBethian here for a moment and say, how long must we collectively lean our shoulders against the rock of patriarchy in hopes it will change shape, let alone move? And I was wondering, in your opinion, is it time to find ways to be done with all of that and build our own parallel system as women who want to also support women entrepreneurs?
Well, you're absolutely right about the need for greater capital for women-owned enterprises. There's no question. I think that this incredible ecosystem, this incredible dynamism that is in our female entrepreneurs is a good start. It's really good it's really good that the head of the CVCA, so the Canadian Venture Capital Association, is now headed by a woman. I am seeing more venture funds. SheEO is a perfect innovative example and new model for how to get how to get funding and capital into female entrepreneurs. And I think it's going to take everyone. And I think we need to keep doing what we are doing, to keep opening up the doors. And you know what? And when women leaders are successful, it allows others to be successful. When we have women sitting in those, you have to ask yourself, why are those decisions the way they are? Well, wouldn't a solution, or could a solution look like making sure that we get more women on boards, more women at the decision-making table, which is what we're all doing this. So I think it's not one thing or another. I think it's collectively, all of us, government, communities, society, advocates who are pushing, and those in business and the women themselves. I think we all have to do this and just move ourselves, move all of us there. And our data is compelling. It's not just the right thing to do for all of us, but there's a great business case, and sometimes some also need to see some of that evidence. And I think that we're showing them that evidence. I think the women are showing Bay Street, Wall Street, etc. the evidence because they're succeeding. Nothing begets success than success. So let's help women be successful. Like, how do we deal with what some of those barriers still are, and how do we go about responding to that? So while I'm not seeing the one or the two that I can say, here it is, I hope that in not too long, we're going to have a conversation and say, you know what, that too has changed, right? It's just as you said, like, you're feeling that things are changing, and that the definitions, and that we're, that how we define women entrepreneurs and women business leaders, women leaders are changing. Great. So let's also do that to make sure that on what I know is a barrier, which is access to financing, that we are trying to tackle this in a bit of a holistic way, but building on what I think we are all doing collectively.
Okay, what's happening next? What's next for the West Fund?
Well, what we're doing now is the money has gone out, and the women who have been the beneficiaries of the direct investment or the ecosystems are now sort of they're taking shape, and I always believe that we should make decisions based on what really works, based on the real experiences of women. So the Women's Knowledge Hub, I think, is going to be really helpful because we've just never had data, we've never had information information to help us make the kinds of decisions or to give us the insights. This now begins to give us insight. But of course, research also doesn't happen overnight. They need a bit of time to work. I think we started out with a really good gusto. The $2 billion investment is what it is, and it's great. It's going to work, and I want to be able to take. I want to understand what really works, and then sort of go from there.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Keep doing the good work.
Well,
okay?
thanks a million.
Go in and get some food. Thank you, Ryan. Really
I appreciate everything. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome.